I'm happy that I did not stay up till early in the morning to watch the full Game Awards. It was from 2 AM to 5 AM here in Europe, which is also just way too long. And when watching it later, it became clear that most of the big announcements were really saved for early on during the show. Like the Hellblade 2 gameplay looked pretty wild, it shows really what next gen is capable of. Same with the Suicide Squad trailer, they also uploaded at 4K 60 FPS. I really love this part where Captain Boomerang slides, jumps, teleports, shoots and slides. Or where Harley Quinn uses the grapple here on a drone to swing around and cause a ton of mayhem. Looks like a ton of fun to play. And speaking of Warner, we totally had some missing games from them as well. There were big surprises during the Game Awards and really cool games we never heard of. So I want to highlight the biggest announcements at the Game Awards 2021 in this video. And I think we should start with one I also mentioned in my predictions video. Star Wars Eclipse. It was namely already rumored that Quantic Dream behind Detroit and Heavy Rain was working on a Star Wars game, but I did not expect the trailer to be this cool. Like, they really got something to live up to right now. And as we saw in the trailer, this is the first game set in the High Republic, which is 200 years before the films, the golden age of the Jedi. And in true Quantic Dream fashion, this will be an action-adventure game where we play multiple characters and where your choices will be at the heart of the experience, as every decision can have a dramatic impact on the course of the story. And what I personally love about Quantic Dream games is that your characters can die at any point. So you're extra careful in every scene, because if you lose a character, you will not see the end of their storyline, and maybe they won't meet with other playable characters later on, so you're basically missing large chunks of the story. And especially with Detroit's setting not always being as realistic in my opinion, or as convincing, I think them having the Star Wars license could be very, very interesting. And also, we did not get a Star Wars game like this, so I think it could really work out well if this turns out to be great. It's currently in the early stages of development at Quantic Dream's studios in Paris, France and in Montreal, Canada. And they announced that Montreal studio earlier this year, so I think that also shows us that we likely have to wait a few years for this game. And good to know is that it likely is going to be multi-platform, as Quantic Dream and Sony stopped their relationship after Detroit, and those games have appeared on PC ever since. A game that is PlayStation 5 console exclusive though is Forspoken. We now learned that it's actually for 2 years, so Sony giving Square Enix that cash, and every trailer looks better for this one. Traversal looks really sick and fast. We also got ice boarding to quickly traverse the open world. It really feels like Final Fantasy, looking at the setting, the characters we get to meet, the enemies we get to fight. It meets Infamous, looking at the gameplay, the combat, the powers we have. And I kinda can't wait to play it. We now got a release date for May 24th, 2022, which seems like a perfect time to launch this new IP. And I overall really think that with these next-gen games, the power of the SSD is in full display. With Forspoken, we really see it, but also once again with Suicide Squad, just how fast everything is moving without any problems. Likely thanks to the improved reading speed of the solid-state drive versus the HDD we had in the previous consoles. It's going to be a great generation for open world games, like the new Wonder Woman. This was totally the most out of nowhere announcement, and we got some first details as well. Of course, if you liked the video so far, then leaving a like on it would really help me out, and subscribe for more of these Sunday videos going over all the gaming trends. So yes, while I'm not a enormous fan of Wonder Woman, I am immediately curious about this game because Monolith Productions, the studio behind Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, is working on it. And let's immediately address the elephant in the room here. This likely does mean that we will not get a new Middle-earth game by this team for the foreseeable future. In the description of the Wonder Woman trailer, we learn that this is a single-player open-world action game which will introduce an original story set in the DC universe and allow players to become Diana of Themyscira in the fight to unite her Amazon family and the humans from the modern world. So yeah, I totally think the full Monolith team is on this game. It's sounds pretty massive, and interesting is that it seems that they started working on it in March 2019, as found by Timur on Twitter. And we also saw a new project by Monolith already in the GeForce Now leak we discussed many times before here on the channel. The codename seems to be Legacy, and it was listed for a November 8th, 2022 release date. But most of the things that were like far away already got pushed back a bit. Warner already has a million games in 2022 as well, so I think we're looking at a 2023 release at the earliest. And sure, we haven't seen all of this game yet, but I am kind of sad about this, because now basically all the big Warner Bros. Studios are working on a DC game, when you got properties like Lord of the Rings with an Amazon TV show coming as well. And why I first thought that Monolith might be going back to Middle-earth was because there's also a Fight for Middle-earth game in the GeForce Now leak. So maybe that's like another team somewhere in a studio at Warner Bros. Games that is working on a Middle-earth game. We do got confirmation that the Nemesis system will be coming to this Wonder Woman game. Powered by the Nemesis system, gamers will forge deep connections with both enemies and allies as they progress from a heroic fighter into a proven leader. So yeah, I will totally keep an eye out. Again, I love this studio. Nemesis system is amazing. And the world from Wonder Woman, like especially where Wonder Woman comes from, should be very interesting to explore. So we'll be keeping an eye out. Still kind of sad that we're not getting a new Middle-earth game though. But yeah, where was Gotham Knights? I really hope that they are now just going for a blowout and then a release date 2 months later. Like, I think they're like stretching this way too long. And the big one is of course Hogwarts Legacy, which was not at the show. Now there are rumors, not like really credible or something, but I still thought it was interesting to note this. Let's say that Hogwarts Legacy was planned, but then at the last minute it changed for Wonder Woman. Like, sure, the teaser is not like really crazy or something, but I would imagine that it takes more time to like make the teaser, and I don't think you can like switch that out at the last minute. But yeah, those are some theories that are out there. Alan Wake 2 got announced, which was already kind of rumored for a while, but now we learned that they will focus more on the survival horror aspect for the sequel instead of the action we saw more in the first game. It's gonna be next gen only, coming to Xbox, Epic Games Store on PC, and also immediately to PlayStation 5. So that is nice, and we should see more of the game in the summer of next year, so likely E3 or Gamescom. And we also saw 2 very interesting new IP, and it's kind of a trend. We also saw it with like studios that Sony is now partnering with, that like very well-known developers who worked with like a big company like EA or Ubisoft are leaving. They set up their own team, get a lot of funding, and then they make a new IP. And we saw 2 of them announced here at the Game Awards, with one being Nightingale from the Dragon Age creators, and it looks really cool. It's a varied looking world. Seems like you have to go to one of these areas, and maybe there's like a server with like a lot of other people running around. They build a settlement, and then you try to survive against pretty creepy looking enemies. I especially love the really unique style also of the characters. So we'll totally be keeping an eye on this one. And we also got ARC Raiders, and this is a new game from X-Dice people, so who worked on the Battlefield franchise. Now they're making a PvE game, so against the AI. And yeah, it kind of looks like Destiny meets The Division in terms of like third-person perspective, but we're fighting these drones. I'm not like really a fan of the design of these machines. They're not like very inspired or anything. A spider robot, like really, we've killed those many times. But still, it looks like a ton of fun. Might be kind of cool. I'm just happy to see a lot of these like new ideas. But yeah, they all totally seem to be chasing the social survival type of gameplay, going in early access, etc, etc. Maybe they see more money in that, because I kind of get it. Like, if it really becomes a big thing, it could like really explode. Maybe less so than with a single player game these days, which is kind of the sad reality. So normally at the end of these Sunday videos, I go to the Reddit page, the leaks and rumors one, which you see right here. I can totally recommend that you check that out. I'm always having a good time there. But all the sort of rumors were for the Game Awards, and that happened. And the other rumor is for the new Assassin's Creed expansion, and it's coming soon. We will have the live stream really soon. So we'll be live reacting to that. We'll have videos about that. It's gonna be a cool week if you like Assassin's Creed. I'm really curious about everything, and got a ton of stuff planned. And yeah, maybe we got some other things. I'm sure Horizon will kind of keep talking, although I do think that we will not see like new gameplay. I love that trailer. By the way, did a trailer breakdown of that, which you can check out on the channel. But yeah, I don't think we will see like any more new gameplay before the end of the year. I think January is really where they're going to go the extra mile and hype it up. But yeah, for now, I did like the Game Awards. I think the things we saw were pretty interesting. Curious to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Check out my previous video by clicking on the screen, that Horizon breakdown. And we'll see you next week, or very soon, in a future stream or video, because it's gonna be a busy week. I'm pretty excited. Goodbye.